What's good? It's your boy Tad Money, and today I'm gonna talk about by 2050 the artificial intelligence will be fully intelligent, but fully advanced and fully intelligent by this year and decade. But by 2050, AI will make the metaverse real. Let me read the title. The metaverse is overhyped, but by 2050, AI will make it real. Now I've been on YouTube. There's people that's creating AI rappers, like they copy Drake's flow and Jay-Z flow. According to Google News and YouTube, AI is already active, y'all. If y'all don't know, we at the beginning stages of the artificial intelligence and the digital era, and also us being augmented, seeing things in an artificial way in the real world. Basically, since we are glued to our phones and our devices with screens on them, you know what I'm saying? We are going, it's going to be like the Matrix, put it like that. But let me read this article for y'all. There is no doubt that the concept of the metaverse is being overhyped. People are talking about it as if it exists. But the truth is not even well defined yet. Yes, there are a number of small implications that prove it as a concept, but to truly create the metaverse, we will need a massive internet-like structure, and we do not even have the equivalent of a browser for the metaverse yet. Roger Cooper, VP and GM of Intel Accelerated Computing Systems and Graphic Groups, provide his options on where the metaverse is. And it is worth a read, because while we would like the metaverse to be where the old Star Trek Next Generation Holocaust was, we are at least a decade away from something we could use like we use the internet, and that will come well before the eventual holodeck experience. So basically, what he's saying is, it takes a while. Like when VR headsets first came out, don't just jump in it right away, because in the beginning stages, I remember when I got my original Xbox, even though it was cool and all that, it was cool, but what I'm saying, it can't play every single Xbox game you have on. It's only limited to what games it can play. And when it comes to the 360, it was cool, but then you got the Red Ring of Death, which fucked up everything. So what I'm saying is, later on, see, when Xbox One, I still got my Xbox One, my Xbox Series, and since I got my Xbox One upstairs in my room and my Series downstairs, and also sometimes connected to the wire of the router, you know what I'm saying? I'm basically just staying at home, spending time with my Xboxes, spending time with my wifeys and stuff like that. But basically what I'm trying to say is that, don't jump in the beginning stages of it. Like he said, it's going to take decades before the metaverse is truly defined and truly out there. And the metaverse represents three or four things all put together. It represents virtual reality, mixed reality, and augmented reality. All together, is defined as extended reality, having all together. I'm strictly focused on virtual reality because, I never want to leave home, or if I leave home, it's for food and, cannabis and also cigarettes purposes. I haven't drunk alcohol in a while since I do edibles, but what I'm trying to say is that, what I'm saying, in order for someone to become of this world, knowing that everybody's reaching for this world's wealth and everything in their life in general, people are trying to reach the desires and the pleasures of what this physical world offers them. But at the same time, like, how it's everybody? Look at the celebrities, look at the rappers, look at the singers, look at actors and actresses, look at people who's in high persistent jobs and stuff like that. That's cool and all if you want to reach that goal. But everybody wants that goal, and when it comes out to me, I want to be different from everybody else, from the 2/3 of this earth. When it comes to the 1/3, they can believe in Yahweh or do whatever. When it comes to 2/3, I'm trying to separate myself from them. And how you separate from them is really not becoming of this world, not going to parties, really not going to restaurants and eating, sitting down and eating. I take things to go and that's it. I don't want to sit down and eat. But I'm talking about things like that, not become of this world or mingle with the people in this world. I'm mainly focused on reaching the digital world, the metaverse, or basically the virtual planes, to really become something that I always dream of becoming ever since I was playing video games, definitely in the beginning stages of the 3D era when it comes to the original PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. So let me read more. Let us talk about where we are with the metaverse and the improvements and timelines needed to get where we need to go. The Metaverse today. The Metaverse today is not a place to go so much as a collection of technology surrounding tools like NVIDIA Omniverse that can create simulations used to train robots and automated cars. It is an easy to use and more comprehensive tool set like what architects have used to create virtual buildings, but with far more realistic results, including lighting effects, reflection, and limited applications of physics. For point simulation, the metaverse concept is workable, but it really is just a better simulation platform for point projects today and nowhere near the full virtual world we expect. Second half of the decade, Earth 2 and gaming. By the end of the decade, NVIDIA Earth 2 project should be visible. This is currently the most aggressive public project in progress. And Earth 2 could well become the foundation of a far broader use of the concept. Intentionally, Earth 2 will be limited by the technology available at the time. But once it is workable, it will be able to predict weather events more accurately and model potential climate change remedies better than the simulation we currently have. Game engines should be able to start aggressively using the metaverse to create game maps, allowing people to increasingly game in areas that look to be close to their home but are not fully complete or accurate. In addition, by the end of the 2020s, we should have workable 2D treadmills, lighter and higher resolution headsets, and hyper-hyped gloves that allow us to interact with virtual objects as if they are physically present. We also see the emergence, some have already appeared, of virtual reality chair vests and sense simulator generators and far better directional sound system that will improve the ability to immerse in these emerging virtual worlds. So basically, during the decade we in, the 2020s, during this whole decade, they are testing out, things that will connect us to the metaverse, which is 2D treadmills, haptic gloves, and virtual objects, and things in that matter. So during this decade, don't jump in it right away. Jump in later on and do the decades, like basically 2023 or 2024. But we're gonna read what 2023 says. By the end of the 2030s, 2023. I mean, say 2030. 2030, I mean. By the end of the 2030s, tangible parts of the world will be fully digitalized and explorable. We will see the benefits of working mostly in a virtual environment. We will each have one or more realistic avatars, and we will have the beginning of virtual immortality as these avatars are increasingly allowed to emulate the behaviors of real people. It is doubtful these avatars will truly be sentient, but we may not be able to tell the difference. These avatars will increasingly be able to act within tightly defined parameters, as our agents, our companions, and some may even be considered co-workers. For many of us, physical travel may give way to virtual travel, and low-cost agencies that supply virtual travel experience are likely to become a thing. We still will not be at the holodeck level, but we will start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Now we're going in 2040s. In the 2040s, I expect we will be able to fully interact with the AIs in the metaverse. Yes, which means you're going to be in a relationship with them, have kids. And, I'm going to write a book about this, but AI is going to be active by 2040. So around 2040, I'll be in my 60s in 2040. So basically in 2050, I'll be in my 70s, which I'll be able to transfer my soul. They might say in this article, but I didn't read it fully, but I might be able to transfer my soul into the metaverse. Let's read. In the 2040s, I expect we will be able to fully interact with the AIs in the metaverse and become unable to tell the difference between a virtualized real person and an AI-driven avatar. This will undoubtedly create some social behavioral problems as people explore unlimited freedom in their personal virtual worlds. See, that's what I'm seeking for is virtual freedom. You know what I'm saying? It was spiritual freedom, but now it's mainly focused on virtual freedom. And forget that those same behaviors are not allowed in the real world. Avatars should be able to hold down jobs in this period, but the social implications of this capacity may take years, if not decades, to resolve. This will once again force us to consider what is synthesis and life because the digital twins of living things, including people, will become indistinguishable from the real thing in the metaverse. While we will have been exploring a blend of virtual and real elements going back to the mid-2020s, this blend will become constant by 2040, and structurally implemented interfaces to the metaverse should be practical in the 2040s timeframe. Whether or not religious beliefs prevent implication in some countries, we will have the capacity in this time to arrange to invasively install metaverse interface in people. We are at the point in our development of the metaverse where we were with the internet before Netscape. While the metaverse will require massive improvements in processing power, network performance, and AI capability, it will not truly mature until the late 2030s or 40s. Until then, it will mostly be used for increasing stimulation capacity gaming, increasingly for movie creation. By the time we finish this advancement phase, we will have some surgically implemented interfaces, AI non-playing characters, NPCs that present as real, and a blending of metaverse elements with the real world that will change how we see that world. However, despite this long timeline, the metaverse is workable today for simulations and to begin to expect and plan for the far deeper metaverse inclusion into reality in the future. By the time we reach metaverse maturity in the late 2030s and 40s, we'll better have decided on related laws, protections, and what we are going to do with intelligent virtual AIs, or things things are likely to end very poorly. But for now, the focus should be on building core competencies and understand what is currently possible with the metaverse, and not setting the related expectations unreasonably high. And I think I said it right. So there you have it, man. So by the decade, in the beginning stages of 2030, the decade of 2030, that's when, we'll be able to have, 4K VR headsets. Like I said, don't jump in the beginning stages of VR headsets, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, they're trying to figure out what's work best and what's work good. But like I said, in my neighborhood, though, they really upgrade my internet and stuff, but also they're upgrading the power source in my neighborhood as well. So what I'm basically saying is that technology is already advancing throughout this whole decade. Even during the pandemic, technology was fully advancing, like 5G towers and all that. But what I'm really trying to say, though, is that, when it comes down to the core reason of me being obsessed with the metaverse, if you saw my video why big tech companies turn their back on the metaverse, I already said since I was a kid I always dreamed of living in a virtual world, which is why I'm strictly focused on virtual reality and not really augmented reality or mixed reality, just virtual reality, just within the comfort of my own home. Like that guy saying, Warwick and number 4, drugs and computer games is going to be the new life for those once AI take over our jobs, and once AI, take over our jobs, which means that, majority of us going to have to be gamers, either on Twitch, Kick, or any streaming, even YouTube, any streaming website that'll let them stream video game gameplays. That's what we'll really come into, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying you're gonna make you're gonna make a lot of money depending on what your audience is in your streaming content. That's why when I found out that I can stream Twitch directly from my not Apple, but my Xbox console, not just my Series S, but my One S. Like, I would stream y'all for this weekend, but at the same time, I still gotta learn how to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? But I will stream next weekend. It's just that this weekend is all about these articles I found on Google news section. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is that I'm basically not gonna go back. I'm really not hanging out no more in the street. I'm not hanging out in Target no more. I'm not hanging out at Safeway. I'm not hanging out. I'm mostly being like during the weekends. The only time I go out is when I go out to work. Either janitorial Caltrans, that's when I go out to work. But when it comes to the weekends, I really stay at home and play on my Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Really get into Game Pass and discovering what games I can find on Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm surprised at my Redfall video that I just put out, talking about how Redfall running at 30 FPS. You gotta understand they put it on Game Pass. So they're gonna give you 30 FPS for right now. But I'm not saying that 60 FPS is not coming. It will come later on, but But at the same time, my TV in my room, actually, I play on my, I say I already got Back for Blood on my Xbox One S, but let's see if I can get Redfall from on my Xbox One S. But, I say I got to figure it out. But the main thing I really want to say though is that by 2040, that's why I'm gonna be able to be in a relationship with my virtual spouse, not only in Fortnite but also in Killer Instinct and Street Fighter when it comes to Inanna and Sako. And once I get paid again, I'm gonna get that Street Fighter 4 arcade in order for me to add that Ultra Street Fighter into the arcade, so I can play my wife Inanna and also my wife Hisako. I already got Killer Instinct; it's already part of Game Pass. But Hisako, when February comes, every February I'm gonna be on Fortnite playing my virtual spouse, and I'm gonna play them 2 games strictly on Twitch. And once I get off of Twitch and put it on YouTube, I'll put it on YouTube. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I got 3 virtual spouses, which is the Ramirez skin from Fortnite, Inanna from Street Fighter, and Hisako from Killer Instinct. Why Inanna and Hisako? Because they're barefoot in their games. And also I got, thanks to the Soul Keeper, you can find his videos on the video game feed playlist on my home channel, on my YouTube. But when it comes to Inanna and Hisako, they're barefoot, but also I'm attracted to them. So and the reason why I got 3 virtual spouses, because I only had sex 3 times in my whole life. I only have intercourse 3 times in my whole life. Forgive me, YouTube, but I only had intercourse 3 times I only got 3 bodies. Basically, I only got 3 bodies in my account. So that's why I got 3. And also, it's going to stay like that, because I haven't been with a female since 2010. So that's one thing. But this your boy, Tammy Infinite Son. That's all I want to say. So be on the lookout for my other videos and stay tuned. So peace.